For over a millennium, the night sky was viewed with absolute certainty. The accepted reality was that the Earth stood perfectly still, acting as a fixed anchor point around which the entire cosmos revolved. This map of the universe follows the Ptolemaic system, formalized in the 2nd century. It places the Earth dead center, with the Moon, the Sun, and the known planets locked into nested, perfectly circular spheres. But observers tracked a glaring flaw in this geometry. The outer planets, like Mars and Jupiter, didn't move in clean circles. They appeared to slow down and briefly loop backward. To explain this, astronomers added epicycles, smaller, messy loops overlaid onto a planet's main orbit to force the math to work. By the 15th century, the system was a chaotic web of workarounds. It survived because it protected the ancient assumption that the Earth never moved, regardless of how complicated the math became. Nicolaus Copernicus was born in 1473 in the city of Torun, a merchant hub within the Kingdom of Poland. His university education spanned the great centers of Krakow and Italy. He spent years mastering mathematics, medicine, and canon law, building the diverse intellectual toolkit required to question the foundations of his era. While he served as a church official, his attention remained on the sky. Using precise observational tools, he realized the actual movements of the stars didn't align with the centuries-old charts he had been taught to trust. Copernicus suspected that the mathematical mess was a byproduct of the observer's position. He began to calculate what the universe would look like if the Earth itself was in motion. Rebuilding the cosmos meant breaking the illusion of a stationary world and questioning the very ground beneath his feet. Around 1514, Copernicus summarized his early findings in a brief, handwritten manuscript called the Commentorialis. He didn't publish it, choosing to circulate copies only among a small circle of trusted colleagues. His first postulate stated all celestial spheres encircle the sun. Next, he argued the heavens' daily motion is an illusion. The stars are fixed, while Earth spins on its axis. Finally, he placed Earth in a locked orbit around the sun alongside the other planets. This shift transformed the universe from an arbitrary collection of nested spheres into a unified, mathematically locked architecture. This heliocentric model mechanically solved retrograde motion. Earth travels faster on a smaller inner track, periodically lapping the slower outer planets. From our moving vantage point, those planets appear to loop backward. Copernicus proved these retrograde loops were merely an optical illusion. Despite this breakthrough, Copernicus spent 30 years refining his work in near total secrecy. He lived in an era where Aristotelian physics and a literal reading of the Bible were law. To suggest the Earth moved was to risk a total clash with the highest religious and academic authorities of the 16th century. For Copernicus, the risk of a public confrontation outweighed the rewards of fame. He chose to remain a quiet church canon, protecting his discovery until he was beyond the reach of any earthly backlash. In the year 1543, as Copernicus lay dying, he finally allowed his life's work to be mass-produced in Nuremberg. The book, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, presented his heliocentric theory for the first time. But the publication was compromised. Theologian Andreas Osiander inserted an unauthorized, anonymous preface claiming the book was just a mathematical exercise, not physical reality, to avoid a public outcry. Legend states that the first printed pages were placed into the author's hands on May 24, 1543, the very day he died. He passed away as the book began to circulate, leaving a tipping time bomb of knowledge that would eventually dismantle the medieval worldview. The Copernican Revolution took a century to gain traction, eventually serving as the bedrock for the work of Galileo, Kepler, and Newton. The theoretical maps of the past were replaced by the undeniable physical reality of our planet, suspended and moving through a massive void. By displacing the Earth, Copernicus initiated a shift in the way we find truth. He abandoned the safety of inherited certainty in favor of a universe defined by mathematical, evidence-based reality.